Yeah, we're back, folks. Notice new background. Finally got the water taken care of here that was going on in my house. So we are back here. Mike Randle with you, FTN College Basketball Betting Show. I hope you had a great holiday. I hope you have a great new year. I hope things are moving forward for you. And we are back again today. Light slate, not a lot of games, but we're getting warmed up for Friday and Saturday. Going to have a special guest on Saturday. My old buddy, Gus Kearns from the Screen the Screener podcast is coming on. We had Justin Perry last week from Shot Quality. Absolutely killed it. Gus is one of the best basketball knowledge people in the business. Going to come on with me. Old school reunion here on Saturday at 10:30. We're going to come today, early, tomorrow, 2 o'clock p.m., preview the Friday slate, and then 10:30, our spot on Saturday. And for those that are new to the show, you know we are scalding hot. We are looking for 1 unit per day. Guys, we're only 82 days away from March Madness on Thursday, which is Christmas in March. It's a holiday. It's July 4th. It should be everything. We should have off from work there on that day on March 19th. Last 7 shows have been incredible, 60.4%. Again, we finally have tapered off the variation. We started, we were 21-3, then we went on a cold streak, then we were scalding hot, 78% for 3 shows, and we have finally leveled off here and gotten to a point. We have a good read on these teams. We know where they're going to be, and we have good leans and strategies. And don't forget, if you haven't joined us here at FTN, you have to join us. Frank Brank's models are live. They're refreshed and replenished. Mike Cucci with the props. We are killing it. Walt Waddell, who's our night owl. We have so much great content for you here at FTN. You got to join us. FTN wins get you 10%. Here we go. I'm going to start with this one. Oklahoma. Now, listen, there's not a lot of games today, so we want to taper what we're doing, but we do have some strong reads here. Number one, we're going to go with Oklahoma back home here against Central Arkansas. Now, Oklahoma is coming off their first loss against North Carolina. That was a had-to-have-it game for North Carolina. It was in Charlotte. I think Oklahoma played very well. North Carolina was super hot, and they kept fighting back. But at home this year, they've been absolutely fantastic. They're shooting 60% from inside the arc. They're great on the offensive boards, great on the defensive boards. Central Arkansas is not going to get a lot of shots, and teams are shooting 75% from the free throw line against Oklahoma. Now, if you're concerned about this line, I got it 29.5 last night. It's up to 30, 31. I'm fine with it there. Look at what they've done to substandard teams. Central Michigan at home, they won by 30. Mississippi Valley State at home, they won by 39. Texas State, a really good defensive-oriented, slow-down Texas State team. They hung 93 on them and almost beat them by 40 points. So they have shown the ability to destroy lesser opponents, and they limit you from three-point range. Now, on the other side, Central Arkansas, what are we getting here? We're getting a team that just lost at home to Western Illinois by 11 points. We're getting a team that shoots 42% from inside the arc. We're getting a team that allows opponents to shoot 38% from inside the arc. And we're getting a team in Central Arkansas that has had the benefit of teams shooting 67% from the free throw line. I'm going with Oklahoma. I'm laying the points. I don't care what it is. I think it's a bounce back spot. I believe in Porter Moser. You know my lean here. I believe in coaches. They make a huge, huge difference, positive and negative. We are going here with Porter Moser and Oklahoma at home. You sure about this one? Listen, you want to look at the metrics. This makes no sense because Coppin State has been one of the worst teams. If you go down to KenPom and you go all the way down to the bottom here, the 2 worst teams in college basketball per KenPom is Mississippi Valley State and Coppin State. Coppin State is the worst in adjusted offensive efficiency. They can't make shots. They can't do anything, but they can force turnovers. I don't believe in Maryland here. This is the last game that Maryland is going to have before they open against Purdue. They have Purdue coming here after January. They're 1-1 so far in the Big Ten. They lost away at Indiana, and they beat Penn State at home in a nice comeback win. Now they have Purdue, look-ahead spot. I just don't think Maryland can win this game by this many points. The last time we had a game like this, it was against Georgetown. It was Coppin State against Georgetown. Georgetown looked great for the first half. They were up by 15 to 18 points, and then they just coasted in the second half. I don't think Maryland can get to this point. I don't. Coppin State doesn't look good. If you guys look at the metrics like we do and you look at the numbers, they're not good. So don't look for it. This is a fade Kevin Willard, Maryland at home, slow, deliberate, win by 30 point. I don't think they can do it here whatsoever. Let's check our comments here. So happy holidays. Trevor is back. I can't believe I actually bet Coppin State today. I believe Trevor. Trevor, I'm with you. I completely agree. I am ready to go here with fading Maryland. We're going to stick to what got us, and that's what we're going to do. Oakland plus 2.5 versus Cleveland State. Here's my rationale for this game. Now, you have to look a little deeper. Oakland, last time they played, got absolutely destroyed by Dayton, 91-67. The problem is, in that game, they did not have Rocket Watts in that game. and they did not have Osei Price. Both were out of the game with illness. I'm assuming they are both back. If Rocket Watts does not play, I cannot take Oakland in this spot. But I assume with an 8-day rest from Dayton, he is going to be back, and he is a difference maker. This is an Oakland team that beat Loyola Marymount on a neutral, that beat Marshall on a neutral, that beat Xavier away in a true road game, pounded Detroit Mercy. Everybody does that, no big deal. But they also lost by 1 at home to Toledo. They have competed well. If Rocket Watts plays in this game and they are back to full strength, I am taking Oakland plus 2.5 against Cleveland State. These games are always close. Big, intense game here. Oakland is 1-1 in the horizon. Cleveland State in the horizon is also 1-1. I expect a close game. If you want to go with the under, I am fine with that as well. I'm also targeting the under because these games tend to go under when these two teams play. I just think Oakland, if they are back at full health, can get the win here over Cleveland State, a team that can be a little sloppy with the basketball from time to time. They're not great on the defensive boards. They like to leak out, and they've also benefited. They don't shoot well from the free throw line, Cleveland State, at 65.6%, but they do have benefited from a huge factor that teams have only shot 60.9%. That is the second best free throw percentage against in terms of missing shots of any team in college basketball. Not a good free throw shooting team, not a good defensive rebounding team. Oakland back at full strength. People will bet Cleveland State because Oakland looked terrible against Dayton, but they were shorthanded. I'll take Oakland plus 2.5. This is one you have to look ahead and see where they're playing. LIU is horrific. Their metrics are terrible. Albany has actually been solid, and this game is in Brooklyn. I think it's up to 10 now. I'm fine with that also. We are laying the points with Albany here against LIU. LIU has been a train wreck this year, just absolutely awful. And Albany actually plays with good pace and defends the three fairly well. Now, Albany's going to be focused in this game because they lost 3 of their last 4. They lost a close game to Temple. They lost away at Drexel, who's really good. And then they lost to South Florida away. This is a big game for them. It is in Brooklyn. It is not at LIU. And all LIU has done is gone 1-10 this year. And the only team they were able to beat was Texas A&M Corpus Christi on a neutral. They have played 6 games away from home. This is a semi-home game. It's in Brooklyn. I'm not buying it. Usually take the better team on a neutral court. I know it's a lot of points. I just don't think that LIU Brooklyn is very good. They are terrible at turnovers. They're terrible in offensive rebounds. They're terrible at making shots. They're not good at the free throw line, and they play at a fast pace. I think Albany wins, and I think they win comfortably going away. I will take Oregon here against USC. Oregon at home. This is a close game. I expect it to be back and forth. This is not one that's going to be easy, but I like Dana Altman here with this Oregon Duck team. They were able to beat a good Kent State team at home by 14. Now they have USC. USC, you know the deal with them. They're not great on offense, but they're great inside defending the interior. They lost to Gonzaga. They lost to Long Beach State at home, which was a bad loss. Auburn, they beat Alabama State away by 20. They were up big at that game and then allowed them to keep it close and almost didn't cover. This is a big matchup. It is the opener in the Pac-12 for USC. It is the opener in the Pac-12 for Oregon. I think Dana Altman's the better coach. I think Oregon's the better team. I don't think the line is big enough. I will take Oregon minus 2.5. UCLA has been an absolute train wreck. They've been terrible. And so I have no faith in the team that is shooting under 30% from three-point range and 45% from inside the arc and is playing at a very slow pace, going on the road and covering at Oregon State. They lost to Villanova, Ohio State, Cal State Northridge, and Maryland at home by 9. Now they're playing Oregon State. And you know what? Wayne Tinkle has done a nice job with this team at home. This is their 1, 2, 3. This is their 6th straight home game. It is the opener within the Pac-12 for them. They have played substandard opponents. I get it, but they did battle on neutrals against Pittsburgh and Baylor and Nebraska and teams like that. I think this game is close. I don't think UCLA has fixed their problems. I think they're struggling in offense. I think 6.5 is way too much. I wouldn't even mind a money line play here. I like Oregon State. I think it's a close game. I don't think UCLA is that good. I think Mick is having struggles right now, and I don't think they're magically going to turn it around because of a break here in time. A couple games left, and then we will get out of here. If you have questions, make sure you put them in here. Yeah, Trevor wants to go money line. I'm with you, Trevor, on the money line. Completely agree. I just don't think UCLA has fixed their problems. Sam Houston State at Texas Tech. Sam Houston State can do one thing, and they can turn you over. And Texas Tech and Sam Houston State ranks right now top 50 in turnover percentage. They have played tough teams, Sam Houston State. Oklahoma State away, Mississippi away, good Mississippi team, lost by 3. Arizona State away, Missouri State away, Texas State. They're going to be competitive in this game, and they're going to be fired up to play Grant McCasland's Texas Tech team. My problem with Grant McCasland is since this team has lost one of their major players who was injured all year long, Devin Cambridge is now out for the rest of the season. They have not been great against the spread. Oral Roberts at home, won by 6, did not cover. UT Arlington at home, only 11 points. So now they're playing another game against a team in Texas that's aggressive, that forces turnovers. You know Grant McCasland, tremendous defensive coach, but the metrics for Texas Tech right now, particularly without Cambridge, are not where they should be. Grant McCasland will get it right. He will get it going and get his style, but right now it is not at that point. I think it's too many points. I think 17.5 too many points. I don't trust the Texas Tech offense, even though I love Pop Isaacs, to cover this amount of points. And I think Sam Houston State will be ready to go in this matchup. I'm taking 17.5 there at that number. And the last one here, look, a lot of people are on Weber State, and Weber State is a solid team. They're the number one. They were the preseason pick in the Big Sky. They want to win the Big Sky Conference for the first time in, I believe, about 8 or 9 years. But the number 2 team right behind them is Montana. Montana is the dominant team in the Big Sky. Travis DeQuire's done a great job with this team. They come in, they make their free throws. They're great on the defensive boards. They're like one of those Virginia, Liberty teams, one and done. And I don't think Weber State's offensive attack is enough to be favored by 4.5 here. Weber State is, we talked about number 2, a team's missing free throws against their rate. Weber State is number 1. Teams are shooting 58.3% against them from the free throw line. Weber State plays at a very slow pace, 353rd in the nation. So points are at a premium. Weber State is horrific at defending inside the arc, allowing teams to shoot 57% against a Montana team that is disciplined, that is going to score, that is going to grind it, that has been the dominant team in the Big Sky for many years. This is too many points. I am going to take the 4.5 points here with Montana. I'm going to take the 4.5 points here, with Montana, not Montana State. Let me change that. I'm going to take the 4 points with Montana. Sorry about that. On the road here in this matchup against Weber State. I think Montana is strong. I think they're disciplined. I think this is a last possession game, and I think 4.5 points is way too much. So we would take Montana plus 4.5 against Weber State. That's all we got today, folks. Let's check out the comments here. Trevor, Tennessee State -5 versus UT Martin. UT Martin almost dropped a game away. Yeah, Tennessee State has looked good. UT Martin is not great. You know my deal with these rivalry games. I often get nervous, but I have to admit, Tennessee State has looked a heck of a lot better than Tennessee Martin has. I'll take a quick look at it here for you. Tennessee Martin, yeah, up and down. Almost lost to William Woods, which is terrible. Tennessee State has been really solid. They battled. They were close with Liberty, then they got destroyed. Alabama A&M, that game went to overtime. Indiana State, you know, the problem is I don't want to lay that many points in what I think is a rivalry game here. So I'm going to ignore it. If you wanted to go with a side, I think it's Tennessee State. That's your only option. Guys, thank you so much as always. We will be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow, 2:00 p.m. We'll be back on Saturday. I can't wait for this. With Gus Kearns joining me here from the Screener podcast, going to be absolutely fantastic. Mike Randle on X at Randle Rant. Join us at FTN. We're going to keep rolling. Let's inch back up to 65%, get a couple wins, get to the window today, and then we'll see you again tomorrow.